Leadership is often romanticized as a journey of vision and charisma, but at its core, it is about the courage to step into the unknown. True leadership demands more than just decision-making. It requires the willingness to take risks. Every great leap forward in history, every innovation, every movement, every transformation began with a leader who chose to venture beyond the safety of the familiar. To lead is to accept that progress cannot exist without uncertainty, and that meaningful change is born not from caution, but from the audacity to challenge the status quo. Consider the leaders who have reshaped our world. Martin Luther King Jr. did not merely dream of equality, he risked his life, his reputation, and his safety to demand justice in the face of systemic oppression. His leadership was not defined by speeches alone, but by his willingness to stand in the path of violence, to court arrest, and to confront the moral complacency of a nation. Similarly, Nelson Mandela spent decades in prison for his beliefs, yet emerged not with bitterness, but with a vision of reconciliation that required another kind of risk, forgiving those who had imprisoned him. These leaders understood that without risk, there is no disruption of injustice, no dismantling of barriers, no creation of a better future. In the realm of innovation, risk-taking is equally vital. Think of pioneers like Steve Jobs, who bet the future of Apple on products like the iPhone, a device that revolutionized communication despite skeptics doubting its necessity. Or consider Elon Musk's relentless pursuit of SpaceX, investing his own fortune into a company that many dismissed as a fantasy, until rockets began landing themselves on drone ships. These leaders did not wait for guarantees. They embraced uncertainty, understanding that the greatest achievements lie on the other side of fear. Yet leadership is not about recklessness. Calculated risks are not the same as impulsive gambles. A true leader weighs the stakes, gathers insights, and acts with intention. Take the example of Winston Churchill during World War II. Faced with the looming threat of Nazi invasion, he made the agonizing decision to prioritize national survival over short-term comfort, rallying a nation with the resolve to fight on the beaches. Despite overwhelming odds, his risks were informed by strategy, not desperation. Similarly, Rosa Parks' refusal to surrender her seat was not a spontaneous act of defiance, but a deliberate choice rooted in years of activism. Leadership requires the wisdom to discern which risks are worth taking and the courage to take them even when the outcome is uncertain. A leader's willingness to risk failure also sets the tone for those they guide. When a leader models resilience, they give others permission to innovate, to experiment, and to grow. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who famously reframed his 10,000 failed attempts at inventing the light bulb as steps towards success. His persistence transformed a series of risks into a legacy of innovation. In modern organizations, leaders who encourage calculated risks foster cultures where employees feel empowered to propose bold ideas. Google's 20% time policy, which allowed engineers to spend a fifth of their workweek on passion projects, led to breakthroughs like Gmail and AdSense. Products that emerged because leadership prioritized creativity over conformity. However, the path of risk is not without setbacks. For every triumph, there are moments of failure. The key lies in how leaders respond. J.K. Rowling, before becoming one of the world's most celebrated authors, faced rejection from 12 publishers. Her perseverance in the face of repeated no's underscores that leadership is not just about taking risks, but about enduring the fallout when those risks don't immediately pay off. Similarly, Abraham Lincoln endured numerous political defeats before becoming the president who preserved a nation and abolished slavery. Leadership is as much about resilience as it is about vision. Critics might argue that risk-taking is irresponsible, that stability and caution are the hallmarks of effective leadership. But stagnation is the greater danger. Imagine a society where leaders never dared to challenge norms. Women would not vote, colonies would not become nations, and humanity would never have reached the moon. The refusal to risk is in itself a risk, one that guarantees obsolescence. The world evolves rapidly, and leaders who cling to the familiar inevitably fall behind. Kodak, once a titan of photography, hesitated to embrace digital technology, fearing it would undermine their film business. That reluctance to risk their existing model led to their downfall. In contrast, Netflix transitioned from mailing DVDs to streaming, cannibalizing their own success to stay ahead of change. Leadership requires the humility to adapt and the boldness to act. Moreover, leadership rooted in risk-taking inspires collective courage. When a leader stands up, others find the strength to stand with them. Malala Yousafzai's defiance of the Taliban's ban on girls' education galvanized a global movement. Her risk was personal, but its impact was universal. Similarly, when Jacinda Ardern, New Zealand's former Prime Minister, implemented strict gun control laws days after a mass shooting, she faced political backlash but prioritized moral conviction over popularity. Leaders like these remind us that risk is not a solitary act, but a catalyst that empowers others to confront their own fears. In the end, leadership is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to reach beyond limits. It is about recognizing that the safety of inaction is an illusion and that the greatest legacies are built by those who dare. Whether in boardrooms, battlefields, or grassroots movements, leaders who take risks do more than achieve goals. They redefine what is possible. They teach us that progress is not handed down by fate, but forged by the choices of those brave enough to act. So let us reframe risk not as a danger to avoid, but as an essential ingredient of leadership. Let us celebrate the leaders who stumble, learn, and rise again, for they are the architects of tomorrow. The future belongs not to those who wait for certainty, but to those who chase possibility with open eyes and unwavering resolve. To lead is to risk, and in that risk, we find the heartbeat of human advancement.